Hey everyone, this is Jedi here, coaching Changes Lives, and together with me today we have Lynette, and she's an amazing coach. She's a woman empowerment coach, and really excited for us to do this. Really special for all of you here, because many of you have asked, "Hey, Jedi, is there something about women and leadership that one want to learn from, and also etiquette?" I think the best person here that we have on this channel is Lynette, right? She has an amazing senses for things of etiquette, things of beauty, things of professionalism. And as a woman herself and a parent herself, she has been such a tremendous influence to many women, young women in the workspace, as well as a woman at home, taking care of children and juggling work and family at the same time. And she's someone who I look up to for a lot of the things regarding how you show up in your workspace and how you show up even on the virtual space. So over the next several series, we are really excited to have this, because we're not just doing this one time. We're going to have a series of events that we've been hosting, and we will have different topics every single week to invite you on to join us for a quick lunch talk. So in this lunch talk, we're going to keep it about 15 to 30 minutes, just a power pack, give you some information and just sharing some of our thoughts and ideas to really help you improve your engagement on the online, virtually, or in person, and also how to empower you. So this is not just for women, but we encourage all women to join, but it's also for men, because we want men to also learn what the women are thinking and how that's going to be engaging for all parties as well. So without further ado, let's invite Lynette here. Yay!
Wow, Jedi, with the tall hat that you've just given me, I'm a bit, wow, bashful now. But thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. It's a pleasure being here and speaking to your audience as well.
Maybe you would like to share with us a little bit. What is your passion in the work that you do?
Um, so I stumbled onto coaching actually quite by chance. Well, I wouldn't say actually quite by chance. It's been an organic growth towards that direction, because when I left corporate to spend more time with my children, I was in search for something meaningful, something purposeful for my time, and I wanted to try and help people, but I was actually at loss of how to do it really without imposing my view. Even though I have kids, and I'm still learning along the journey. So when I chanced upon coaching, I think my first comment when I graduated from the class was, everyone that has a touch with another human should be exposed to coaching, because it really truly, like the company says, changes lives, and it has changed my life. And that's something that I'm very passionate about now.
That's really wonderful, because it reminds me a lot of people out there think that coaching is just for coaches. But
Mm.
ICF just launched, or the International Coaching Federation just launched a report with PricewaterhouseCoopers
Yes.
2020 report, and it showed that actually close to 40% of people use coaching skills in a managerial function, in leadership function, not just necessarily as a coach, but they're using that. And I'm seeing more and more parents as well using coaching skills. So they may attend a program like ours that we have called Mastering Coaching, which is one of our best programs out there for parents. Come and join us in one of our programs here all over the world. And people have been asking, hey, why is coaching so powerful? Because it's conversational mastery.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And if
And
you want to, sorry, I
yeah,
interrupted. So
no
if
worries.
you want to master your conversation with your family, or actually in that matter with kids, this is the program to go to, because it just gives you the foundation,
Yeah.
and the rest just takes practice.
Yeah, yeah, really excited, because we have this program for everyone, parents, whether you're youth, you can also attend, and also for adults, young adults, and even for people who are going through the careers, management. And it's really exciting, because when we learn coaching is not just a skill, but it's conversational mastery, which means that you learn the competence to be able to listen better, to question better, to reflect better, and to engage another human being, both live in person and also virtually. Yeah. So really excited.
So
Okay.
true.
So today, without further ado, I think a lot of people are asking, what is something that we're going to be talking about today? Well, we have identified a special team which is going to be running all the way through over the next several weeks as well. It's called Empowering Women Leadership, Finding Your Voice in the Workspace. Finding Your Voice in the Workspace. So if you are a woman and you're thinking, okay, maybe perhaps you're a stay-home mom, or maybe perhaps you are a single parent, or maybe you're a parent, or maybe you are a woman who's working, still single, or whichever background you're from, or maybe you're still studying and you're considering how to transit. This is going to be really important for us, because the workspace does not just mean physical working in the office, but it also can mean working from home. It also can mean working in your as a family household unit, where you have to lead your family. You probably do a bit of side hustle. And how do you actually find your voice in the midst of all this chaos that's happening around the world? Okay, so let's start somewhere from there, and let's hear Lynette and her thoughts about this notion of finding your voice.
I think women or we have, I think in Asia especially, we have a tendency of not sharing our thoughts, of not saying we know the answer, or even putting up our hands in class for that matter. That for me also went into corporate when I was doing a whole lot of different functions, and I didn't say, I think I'm up for that promotion, or maybe that role it's something that's more befitting of, or more descriptive of what I'm doing right now. And that didn't surface. And in the recent, I recently read an article on Forbes, and it spoke of one point which reminded me of this example, and that's actually that women need to come together to empower fellow women in the workspace just by respecting the role. And what this meant was, I give you an example of what had happened at work, where I was actually doing a lot of client services, a lot of office management role, and marketing activities. And I remember the head of marketing from our London office coming in to Singapore, because Singapore manages the East of Suez. And she was talking to me and saying, Lynette, you're doing so many of these things. Have you thought of which is your passion? What is your interest really? And what do you actually want to go on doing for the rest of your career, or for the rest of your time when you're with us? And it's like, it took me a step back. I took a step back and I reflected. And the reason why she was asking that was because she saw that I was very good in doing marketing. But I didn't see that, because I was just in the motion and just doing what I was supposed to do to ensure that the office ran, and branding my company appropriately, so that our clients that were in the oil and gas downstream knew us for our capabilities and beyond. And that was my sole purpose. But when she highlighted this to me, I was like, okay, that's an interesting thought. I never positioned or never thought of myself quite as that before. But that when the opportunity was presented, it's like, okay, there was a small voice inside of me that said, okay, let's give it a shot and see where that takes. And also, hey, this is a head of marketing that's coming to me and saying this, so she must have seen something in me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's then the rest of what was history. That finding your voice in your workplace, it's also believing in yourself that you have the capabilities to do the job. Otherwise, you won't be hired in the first place. And when you go beyond that, and do a lot more than what your role entails, people recognize you for that. And I'm also my worst critique in that sense. And are you sure you can do that? And that's when self-doubt comes up. But you need to listen to yourself. And if others found that voice, why aren't you finding your own voice?
Mm.
And that's something that I just would like to leave with the audience.
Oh, that's really nice. I like what you shared about how it was your marketing director that came to you and said, "Hey, you're doing such amazing job." But you mentioned that in the moment you weren't recognizing that you were. Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah. And how did that make you feel when someone actually acknowledged what you've done, but you may not have realized that you've done well?
The first thought that came was, really? Oh, wow. That was the first thought, right? Because I never quite imagined myself in that role. Yeah.
Mm,
I
mm.
was just doing what I needed to do.
Right. And did it have any impact on your subsequent handling of the work? Did it increase motivation, or did it just add more satisfaction in what you do?
Um, I think afterwards, as I progressed into the role, um, a part of I'm somebody who hold accountability and responsibility very close to heart. So when I was given in my mind a bigger title, um, that I just plunged into the role and did my utmost in ensuring that, as my director of service, which is another lady, said, the ship runs. So I was like the my founder would call me the circus manager that would gather everybody together and make sure the act goes on, if that makes sense. So in lighter notes, yeah.
Oh, that's really wonderful, and I think that's so important for people in the workspace to hear the recognition. And I think sometimes when we go through the daily routine, daily life, one of the things that we yearn for is someone to acknowledge or someone to praise us.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think all of us need a little praise here and there. What do you think about this notion of really consciously praising your team members or consciously praising each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's actually critical.
Yeah, yeah, and I think too often especially for us in the Asian culture, maybe in the Southeast Asian culture as well, that we reserve praise, because praise, you say, oh, if our child has done well, let's not praise them in case
Yeah.
they become too much, and then after that they fail, right? And it seems to me in this part of the world that we reserve a lot of this praise, but actually it's so important because we saw actually engagement improve, like in your case, your engagement improve, and also a sense of fulfillment or sense of recognition because you feel that someone's recognizing you. Yeah, and specifically for women, why is praise important for women as well?
I think I recently was exposed also to your love language, the 5 love
Love
languages,
language,
right? Yeah. So one of it is actually affirmation.
yeah,
Um, who wouldn't like to? I think women or no women, or whoever you are, who would not like to receive a compliment or a thank you, or just gratitude that's being shown to you for whatever you've done, big or small. And it's very different from, I think, my growing up stage, where, as you had rightly pointed out, we are not very generous with giving a pat on the shoulder, or saying good job, congratulations, you've done it. That affirmation it's very important, and it works wonders, really wonders, when you show affirmation for your team. And in this youth work that I'm doing, public affirmations especially are so much more powerful. Our research has shown that when you do public affirmation to the individual, that sense of pride, even though they may be bashful at that stage, it's immense. It builds their confidence, not only their confidence, but their affirmation that what they've done is right, no matter how big, no matter how small it is. And that's what matters, because we want to spur that team that you're leading, or that even your child or the youth, whoever that you may be making an impact, big or small, that they are deserving, they are worth it, they are enough for what they've done. And that can only come through, or one of the biggest or easiest free way of doing it is affirmation. Just say thank you or good job.
yeah,
It's not that difficult.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's so powerful because I think what Lynette has just shared with us is something really powerful. It's about this thing called public affirmation or public
Yeah.
appreciation and even public recognition as well. I think that's so important, or public acknowledgement of what they've done so far. And that's so key because sometimes for us, we may text the person and say, "A good job," right? But it's a different thing when you say that in front of everybody. Oh, Lynette has done such a great job, right? And I think that's so true. Many of us as well, especially if you're leaders watching this, or if you are a coach or leader or parent, we all often reserve that appreciation and we just tell them by the side, or we just have a smile and just indicate good job. But we never really publicly announce that. And I think that public announcement is so key because then, in the ears of everyone else, they begin to hear that, hey, that this behavior is well. This behavior is something that we must recognize. This behavior is something that
Yeah.
we want more of. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than, hey, why have you done that? So you want the voice that comes up or that plays up being positive rather than negative as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I find it so true because one of the things that many people have said, okay, how do we deal with office politics? So like many young people, when they enter the office space, for the first time, they didn't realize, oh, there's such a thing as politics in the office. Okay, whichever you go, it's a small company, big company, giant company, there will always be a form of politics, and politics are then not in the sense of trying to because it's systematically there or is it a systemic issue, but it's more about when you put human beings together, you will often form in groups, out groups. You will form different tensions in the art of communication as well. There will be in groups and out groups, people who can understand us, people who can't understand us. And I think that's so important that the public affirmation part as well, it's key to affirm people. But yet the other side is this: if someone has not done well, what do you think they should? What do you think as a leader they should do? If one of the team members have not done well, should they also publicly announce or should they do it something different?
I think if a member of my team has not done well, I will not publicly announce that. Rather, I would have a one-to-one with the individual and talk to the person. Find out. Coach. I use the word coach now. Before it will be talk to the person, mentor the person, coach the person. Find out actually what really happened, because there could be some intrinsic reasons that you may not be aware of, or it could be the motivation factor that's missing as well. So find out before you jump into conclusions. And I would actually take the person aside rather than doing it publicly, because when you shame a person publicly, I think the hole is not big enough.
But yet we see leaders today still shaming people in front of everyone. Yeah, and I often see this. I say that if when you notice leaders shaming the team in front of everyone, it shows you the leader. It doesn't show the follower. It shows how maybe insecure the leader is, or the leader is not doesn't have that command presence to be graceful in the words and to be also careful with how they present themselves, because that shows up even in their behaviors and leaders. So to me, leadership is sacred. Leadership is beautiful, and leadership is something that all of us must learn. It cannot be learned through a 2-day program or a course.
Textbook. There's no textbook answer.
Like when I took my master's in organizational leadership, I had one big question. I said, okay, the theoretical sounds great and wonderful, but in principle, when people are doing the day-to-day work, it changes all the time. Because for one time, you may be a situational leader, then you may go to a servant leadership, then you may go to authentic leadership, then you may use team leadership. So there's so many different people begin to classify different styles of leadership. But I think that very thought about classifying the styles of leadership, actually it's a fallacy, because then we lose sense of what a real leader is. Because as a leader, we got to be flexible to move with the team, and also guide the team towards where the organization want to be. That's really wonderful. So, guys, hope this has been really useful for you, for all of you who are watching out there. And if there's some nuggets of gold and nuggets of truth that you've really enjoyed, put them in the comment section below and let us know. Hey, say hashtag, right? Find your voice. Hashtag, say public praises, and let us know your thoughts about what you've learned so far in this program. Remember, this video is not there just to give you information, but we hope that this will create transformation on the inside of you. So, there's one final thing we want to talk about just before we close today. It's this. How can someone today use what you've talked about in terms of finding their voice? Suppose let's say they're the individual in the workspace, but they're not getting that public affirmation, or they're getting public scrutiny all the time. How can that individual find that peace and find that strength to be okay, and to be okay to slowly build up the little voice that's inside?
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. Yeah.
Mm. I like that, to be okay not to be okay not to be okay.
Yeah, it is okay not to be okay.
Okay.
And it's only goes to show that you're human, and that not only that, it's how you pull yourself out, or how you journey through it and learn along that journey, that makes you who you are, and that makes you uniquely you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful, because many of us want to seek the praise, then it affirms what we do, or when we have that negative voice, then it detracts us from actually what we're doing. So
Yep.
then we second guess ourselves, and sometimes actually just loving yourself for who you are, and
Yes.
that's so important.
Yes.
And this whole notion of self-care, it's
Yes.
it's something that schools don't teach, institutions
Nope.
don't teach,
Nope.
right? And I think Lynette and I, we have always been discussing about even people's mental health and
Yes.
wellness.
Yes.
Increasingly, we see over the last several weeks as well, we see so many different cases of mental health challenges faced by people. We have seen even celebrities as well, going to the extremes, or individuals as well. And this is a topic that is so prevalent. In fact, in Singapore itself, we saw statistics of an increase in number of suicide cases of young people in their 20s, and all over the age groups as well. And why is that so? Well, for some people say, oh, because their mind is weak. Now, to say that to someone like this, actually, that is the wrong thing to do.
It's like passing the dagger to that person here.
Correct, correct. It's like you're
Yeah.
stabbing the person and
Yeah.
twisting the dagger again.
Correct.
Yeah. And all of us face a certain sense of challenges in our emotional wellness, mental wellness, psychological wellness, and that's true for all of us as human beings. If we always present a strong front, especially when someone appears strong all the time, there will always be moments that there's little weakness that we will come to, and that we will always seek that. And I think sometimes, especially when someone always presents themselves to be so strong all the time, there might be areas that they feel weak about as well. Mm. And that's something that we're going to talk about next week, about self-care, right? And I think that's
Yes.
so important, right? So let us know, right? What is your voice? Let us know. Share with us your thoughts on the comment section below, right? Share with us what is the voice for you today in the workspace. I know we have covered just briefly, and over the next several months as well, we're going to look into the workspace, both in the virtual workspace and also in the live workspace. And we're going to talk about some of the interesting topics of parenting as well. So let us know in the comments as well, what are some areas you would like us to discuss about empowering women, empowering men, empowering children, empowering the workspace, in the comment section below. And do stay connected with us, and do check out Lynette. I'll leave Lynette's LinkedIn account down below in the description box as well. Do get connected with us, and get connected with us here at Coaching Changes Lives, because we truly believe that coaching has the power to change lives. And come and join us at one of our events really soon. We always invite you to sit in if you want to know what is it like. We want to invite you to experience our class as well. We have team leadership programs, we have mastery coaching programs, we have NLP programs, we even have women empowerment programs. So stay tuned, because something really, really exciting come out.
When is your next class?
Next class is going to come out in October, October the 1st. So join us, because that's our team leadership performance class. Really excited. So come and join us. Those are online. So anyone from around the world, you can tune in as well. You'll see the link in the description box below as well. Okay. So stay tuned, because we're going to announce something exciting, because next week we're going to do some live, and you can chat with us live in person. And let us know your thoughts, ask us questions. And we really want to do coaching with all of you out there live. And because I think, as the world gets darker, it's time for us to shine brighter, and for coaches to rise up, to really be a voice of hope. And I think just having a space to share, to talk, and I'm really grateful for Lynette here, because her wealth of experience and knowledge and so many different areas, I think there's such a beauty here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be modest again. I don't have a wealth of experience, but rather I've journeyed through some struggles, and I've emerged okay, intact. And I'm proud of what I've gone through, and I'm happy to share. And I think it's like what you said earlier, let's be that torch as coaches to help shine that light through that cloudy or that hazy patch.
Correct. And in fact, that is the wealth there, right? yeah, it's more than just physical wealth, but I think to me, if true freedom, that's freedom. That's that freedom to
Yeah.
know that you have that ability to unlock certain things that get stuck or conflicts within.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, all right, and tuning in for today. And whichever time zone you're watching this, remember, share this video with someone who needs it. Give us a thumbs up.
Mhm.
Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for all the latest updates that we have for you. So until next time, this is Jedi here and Lynette over there. We will see you guys really soon.